Okay. So this is going to be a prophetic word. Elijah and Elisha. Loyalty, part 2. Hey. So where we last left off, hey, is God is getting ready to take Elijah, hey, up to heaven. No, y'all see that? Y'all see. So God is getting ready to take Elijah to heaven. And Elisha is following Elijah all around and will not leave him, will not leave his side. Hey. And so right now they are in Bethel. And some people of Bethel has came to Elisha and was telling Elisha, do you know that God getting ready to take your master from over you? Hey, God's getting ready to take Elijah away from you and take Elijah to heaven. Hey, and Elisha says, yes, I knew it, but keep quiet. Hey, so we're going to pick up from there. So in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 2, and the sons of the prophets of Bethel who were in Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him, do you know that today the Lord will take away your master from over you? And he said, yes, I know it. Keep quiet. Hey, Elijah said to him, so this is Elijah now speaking to Elisha. Elijah said to him, Elisha, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. But this is Elisha's response to Elijah. But he said, as the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave you. So they came to Jericho. Hey, I'm going to put a pause right here. So Elijah and Elisha are walking together, and they first walked to Bethel. But before they walk to Bethel, Elijah knows he's getting ready to be caught up into heaven. So he's trying to get Elisha not to come with him to Bethel. But Elijah makes a vow to the Lord, as well as makes a vow to Elijah. And Elisha says, I will never leave you. So Elisha ends up still following Elijah to Bethel. And we talked about how when they get to Bethel, people come to Elisha, telling Elisha what's going on, but Elisha already knows. And now the same thing is happening. Elijah is asking. At this point, he's starting to beg Elisha. Hey, he says, Elisha, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho. So he's telling Elisha, can you please stay here? Because God is sending me to, to Jericho. For the Lord has sent me to Jericho. But Elisha in turns, it says, but he said, he's still vowing, as the Lord lives and as you yourself live, I will never leave you. So they came to Jericho. Now, Elisha done follow Elijah from Bethel. Now he following him to Jericho. Hey. And it says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 5, the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho drew near to Elisha and said to him, do you know that today the Lord will take away from your master from over you? And he answered, yes, I know it. Keep quiet. Hey. So everywhere Elijah is trying to go to leave Elisha, people is coming up to Elisha, do you know what's going on? You know God getting ready to take Elijah away from you, your master from over you? Everybody telling Elisha what's going on. But Elisha already knows. Hey. So it says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 6, then Elijah said to him, so now Elijah talking to Elisha again. Then Elijah said to him, please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to the Jordan. But he said, as the Lord lives and as you yourself live, I will not leave you. So the two of them went on. Hey, okay, so we get in the picture. Elisha like, you can give it up. Wherever you go, I'm going to follow you. Hey, so it says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 7, 50 men of the sons of the prophets also went and stood at some distance from them. And as they both were standing, as they both were standing by the Jordan, hey, 50 men of the sons of the prophets also went and stood at some distance from them, as they both were standing by the Jordan. Okay. So now Elisha has followed. Thank you, Jesus. Has followed Elijah all the way to the Jordan River. Hey. Now, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Now, the Jordan River is significant because on one side of the Jordan River, is the wilderness. And in the wilderness, you got oppression, you got bondage, and I say you got oppression, affliction. But when you get to the Jordan River is in between. So you have the wilderness, you have the Jordan River, and on the other side of the Jordan River is the promised land. I say, where there's freedom and joy and peace and abundance and love and riches and rest. Hey! So Elijah all alone is journeying. He goes from Bethel to Jericho, and now he's traveled to the Jordan. And all the while, Elijah already know he's journeying to get to the promised land. He knows that on the other side of the Jordan River is the promised land, and that's where I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to head there. I'm out of here, but I'm trying to distract my close friend. I see. All the while, Elisha knows what he's trying to do. Wherever you go, I go. Oh, you going here, I come too. He following him. So now Elisha has now followed Elijah to the Jordan River. So now, you know that they were already, Elisha and Elijah, and then I said other men were already talking to Elisha. So it says that a company, 50 men of the sons of the prophets. So now, not only are they two just journeying on a journey together, but now you have 50 other men. So these are just bystanders, just innocent people looking to see what's going on, because they know that God is getting ready to take Elijah up to heaven. So they just looking for the background. Hey, they just looking to see what's going to happen, what's going to go on. I know that this journey is between Elijah and Elisha, but we want to see what's going to happen. To Elisha, because we've been telling Elisha that God getting ready to come Elijah. So we want to see what's going to happen with Elisha when God come and get Elijah. What's going to happen? What is Elisha going to do? Another day I see. So it says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 7, 50 men of the sons of the prophets also went and stood at some distance. And stood at some distance from them, as they were both standing by the Jordan. So we talked about now it's a company of 50 men, and they just standing back. They just watching, bystanders watching. It says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 8, then Elijah took his cloak, something that's on him, like a garment, a coat, like a coat or something. And then I see, something is covering. Then Elijah took his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, and the water was parted to one side and to the other. Now we're talking about the Jordan River here. Elijah takes off his garment, rolls it up, and strikes the water, and the water goes up on one side and the water goes up on another side. Then Elijah took his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, and Then Elijah took his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, and the water was parted one side and to the other, till the two of them could go over on dry ground. So Elijah here, who's the older one, he performs a miracle before Elisha. Then Elijah took his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, And the water was parted to one side and to the other, till the two of them could go over on dry ground. So remember, here we're talking about the Jordan River. The river is flowing with water, but Elijah takes his cloak, takes it off, rolls it up, strikes the water, and the water goes up on one side and then goes up on another side. And now Elijah and Elisha are able to cross over. They walking on over on dry ground. On dry ground. Hey, they were not walking on water. Till the two of them could go over on dry ground. When they had crossed, Elijah. So now Elijah is speaking to Elisha. When they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. And Elisha says, please, let there be a double portion of your spirit on me. So now, all the while, Elijah has been avoiding having this moment and having this conversation and didn't want to tell Elisha what was going on. But now he says, in 2 Kings, you know what? This boy didn't follow me all over the place. He didn't even follow me all over here to the promised land. Now he done followed me so far that he over here in the promised land with me. He done crossed over. Let me just go ahead and tell him what. Let me say I'm leaving. Let me just tell him what's going on. Hey! In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9. In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9. When they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. And Elisha said, please, let there be a double portion of your spirit on me. Please let there be a double portion of your spirit on me. Hey! So now Elijah has broke it down and finally told Elisha, you done follow me all this way. Ask what it is that I shall do for you before I am taken from you. And out of everything that Elisha could ask for, he says, please let there be a double portion of your spirit upon me. And in my interpretation and revelation that I was getting, Elisha was, it was Elisha's way of saying, I want to be like you. I want to do the things that you do. Hey! I want to be just like you. I want to do the things that you do, the things that you've shown me. Hey! I'm asking that I have the spirit that you have. May I have the spirit that you have. Hey! May I display the things that you displayed to me. Hey! I want to lead like you. I want to be like you. I want to do it how you do it. Hey! And not only that, I'm asking for a double portion. I'm asking for a double portion. Sitting in this revelation, it can mean one or two things. I'm asking for a double portion so I can be stronger. I want to be like you, but I want to be just as strong. I want to be a two-time version of you. Just strong as you, but stronger. Hey! Or it can mean, give me a double portion of your spirit, so that even when you go, I'll have your portion. I'll have the portion of your spirit. Hey! But then there's also going to be a portion, another portion of your spirit, because I'm asking for a double portion, 2 servings, enough for 2. So even when you leave me, there's a portion for me, and there's still going to be a portion for you. We're still going to be connected. we're still going to be sharing. Hey. So in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9, when they had crossed, Elijah said to Elisha, ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you. And Elisha said, please let there be a double portion of your spirit on me. And this is Elijah speaking. And he said, you have asked a hard thing. You have asked a hard thing. Yet, if you see me as I am being taken from you, it shall be so for you. If you see me as I am being taken from you, it shall be so for you. But if you do not see me, it shall not be so. And as they still went on and talked, behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elijah saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen. And he saw him no more. Then he took hold of his own clothes and tore them in two pieces. Hey. So we have here that Elisha asks for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And Elijah says, you have asked a hard thing. What you are asking me is a hard thing. Hey! And Elijah had an understanding that what you are asking me is a hard thing. And I say, but, and I say, if you see me as I am being taken away from you, it shall be so for you. But if you do not see me, it shall not be so. So, I'm going to give you a sign. If you see me when God come and get me and I'm ascending, what you have asked shall be granted to you. Hey, but if you do not see me, if you don't see me, it shall not be so. So now we have here that Elijah and Elisha are bonding. It says, and they still went on and talked. So now they're just bonding and spending time together and talking. Though now they both know and are aware and have shared that Elijah is getting ready to leave. He's getting ready to go to heaven. But they still chilling and talking anyway. And Elijah is waiting for God to come and get him. And Elisha is just still by his side, just still being loyal. I said, I will never leave you. So they just talking. And I say, and as they still went on and talked, behold, then suddenly they're talking and enjoying each other and enjoying each other's company. And as they went on and talked, behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them. You're talking about two people that have become inseparable, glued together at the hip. But now they're talking, and they're still talking. And it says that chariots of fire and horses of fire begin to separate them. They're being pulled away from each other. And they still went on and talked. Behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it. Remember Elijah said, if you see me go up to heaven, hey, what you ask for a double portion of my spirit. If you see me go up, it shall be so. It says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 12, and Elisha saw it, and he cried. It says Elisha saw it, and he cried. Let's put a pause right here. I'm crying because you're leaving. I'm crying because I'm hurt. I'm crying because I'm grieving. I'm crying because I'm mourning. I'm crying because I'm going to miss you. But I'm also crying because I know that I asked you for a double portion of your spirit. I know that I asked you to just bless me this one last time. I know that I'm sharing this intimate moment with you. I know the vows I've made to you. I know the connections that we have. I know everything that we shared together. I understand that we were so connected, nothing was ever able to separate us. And Elisha saw it and cried. And I know that this means if I ask for your spirit, a double portion of your spirit, to be upon me, I've asked you for the task that you had to be placed upon me. Whatever you didn't do, give me a double portion. Let it fall to me. How do you grieve, mourn, cry, while being placed in a new position? And now on top of that, this thing I asked for, I now have to learn how to navigate it. That's hard because seeing you do it, you made it look so easy. Seeing you do it, I thought you were a superhero. Seeing you do it, you did it effortlessly. But now that it's fallen to me. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 12. And Elisha saw it and he cried, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen. And he saw him no more. Then he took hold of his clothes and tore them in two pieces. Hey. So now we have here, Elijah has gone up to heaven. Elisha has seen Elijah go up to heaven. And Elisha is grieving. He's hurt. 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 13. And he took up the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him, and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. Then he took the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him, and struck the water, saying, Where is the Lord of Elijah? And when he had struck the water was parted to one side to the other, and Elisha went over. Now when the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho saw him opposite them, they said, The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. And they came to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. So Elijah has went up to heaven, but something miraculous has happened. When God is taking Elijah up to heaven, his cloak, his covering, his garment falls. It falls. So Elisha, it says in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 13, this is Elisha. And he took up the cloak of Elijah. So his cloak has fallen as he's leaving. So now, Elisha, this is what I got. This is all I have left of Elijah. Okay. Now, let's put a pause right here. You remember before Elijah crossed over the Jordan, he had taken off his cloak and rolled it up and struck the water, and Elisha crossed over to the other side. But now Elijah is taken up to heaven. And Elisha is left with Elijah's cloak, because when he is caught up to heaven, his cloak falls back down. And remember, Elijah was Elisha's teacher, mentor, the leader who was leading. Now imagine when someone is leading you and teaching you something that's for a reason and for a purpose that you or that person may never understand. But sometimes in life, it comes a moment when you stop being, you never stop being a student. But it comes a moment when you have to use what you learn in a practical way. As a student, we are expected to put in practical terms. We are practically to be hands-on to use what we've learned. So now, thank you, Lord, Elisha is being tested. How so? Elijah is gone. His cloak falls. And I'm sure, put a pause here. Now remember, we just reading the story. But in real life, when Elijah gone, we gotta fill in the blanks that wasn't already filled in. Hey, after Elijah gone, I've been following you my whole life. I've grown close to you. I've been following you. So now that you gone, any human reaction is gonna be, now what I'm gonna do? I've been following him in his footsteps. What I'm supposed to do? We ain't even mentioning that part. Hey. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, what am I to do? In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 13, what do I do? And he took up the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. Then he took the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and struck the water, saying, where is the Lord, the God of Elijah? And when he had struck the water was parted to one side and to the other, and Elisha went over. Elijah is gone. So now Elisha is still on this side of the water, but now he got to go back over here. Elijah done left. I'm distraught. I'm a mess. But now I still got to figure out what to do. Well, what I'm going to do is, since Elijah has been my teacher, Elisha has a epiphany. What would Elijah do? What did Elijah do? Well, since I'm so used to following his way, hey, and everything he's taught me and doing everything he's doing, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do what Elijah would have done. Let me do what Elijah showed me. Woo! Let me do what Elijah showed me to do. I just watched him take off his cloak, strike this water. Come on. Let me get myself together, get on up and come over here. I got his cloak. I got what I need. This fell behind. Okay, well, let me just do what he showed me to do. And he took up the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. Then he took the cloak of Elijah that had fallen from him and struck the water, saying, where is the Lord, the God of Elijah? And when he had struck the water was parted to one side and to the other, and Elisha went over. Now when the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho saw him opposite them, they said, now remember the 50 men who was just standing back in a distance, who was just watching everything, trying to see what was going to happen. So now these same men, because they've been watching the whole time, from the sidelines. Now when the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho saw him opposite them, they said, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. Now, Elijah and Elisha were over there, so they know what the conversation was. They knew that Elisha was asking for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. Only they knew that. But somehow the bystanders from all the way back to where they was, they could see after Elijah left that the spirit of Elijah was resting on Elisha. Elisha hadn't even came back over there and said that yet. Now, when the sons of the prophets who were at Jericho saw him opposite them, they said, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha. And they came to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. Hey! Okay, so I'm going to do a part 3. Let's see what happens.